So it's Cypher Sigma, it's Monday and it's a collection video, and yes, we are finally into the last 4 episodes. So as you will see on these shelves, that is what we will be going over today. So yes, episode 50, so we start with the top 2 shelves as it goes alphabetically along the 2 shelves. So obviously episode 50, 51, 52, and then the final 50, I don't know, wrong, 50, 51, 52, and then 53 along the bottom, and that will be it for this series. So yes, thank you if you've joined this video new, or you want to know what this is about. This is where I go through 2 shelves of my collection each video. Obviously there's a playlist down below, so please, or on the video sections, please feel free to go into that and go back. This is where I detail everything. Probably it's been over a little bit over a year. Obviously there have been some increases and more stuff I've got, so there will be some inconsistencies there, but anyway, this is what you've come here for, so let's get into the video. So here we go into finally to the anime collection. So obviously, like my normal series, everything is labelled from obviously number, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Obviously series are together now. This will be quite a partly winded, as you see, because a lot of the anime series are long, or they used to sell them in volumes. So you'll see there's lots of volumes stuff to go over, but let's get into it. So the first one is 5 centimeters per second. So this is one I recently bought this year. It is 60 minutes long. It contains kind of the story of these 2 people that interconnect, a boy and a girl, in their young to teenage to slightly adult ones. It's split into like 3 20-minute sections. The first 2 are very good. I thought the third one wasn't the greatest. It isn't uniformed order, but there we go. Next we have Aeon Flux. So this is the special edition from MTV series that then became a live action movie in the 2000s. So it's quite a good. Obviously that sticker label, apologies, I didn't get it in the best of conditions. It wasn't but it was quite cheap. I think that's why you got. Otherwise you see like 10 quid back in the day. But not a bad watch if you do want to visit the world. Then we have good old Samuel L. Jackson plays the voice of Afro Samurai. So this is one I bought at London Comic Con. So as you see, this was when it was a small independent company. So this was number 69, Dinner for Two. If you get that joke. But yeah, this is a special. I think there might be art cards in there. Yeah, there was some art cards in there, but a great series. Samuel L. Jackson perfectly voices the main character. Then we have Oh My Goddess. So this is from a TV series. I think this is a movie. I've not actually watched this. Oh no, it's part of the series. I think this is like the second series of a continuing trend. I bought it because it was cheap, but I say not got round to it, so I don't know. As you see, I like a bit more the action side of things. But then we have a special edition of Akira, so one of the classic manga movies from the 90s, inspired a generation, I think, as they call. And there's a little explosion. I do like the front there where they have the symbol of the explosion, and then obviously Akira's name. Then, obviously, in the 90s, if you were getting into anime, obviously manga, or what it's called, or the manga was a company, they would do, as it has at the top collection. So there was loads of movies, little cheap movies here, there, and everywhere that you could get. So this is Amon Saga. It's been a long time since I have watched this one, but it's kind of, as you can tell, like Viking stuff. Not too much more to say about that because remember it. Then we move on to Appleseed. So this is the original film of Appleseed, kind of cybernetics influenced. It was great. I liked it back in the day. I liked it so much that I then have bought a later version. So this is the early 2000s. Film, obviously it was more CG. This is when CG started to come into anime, and you either love it or you hate it, and I was kind of on the fence at this point. Then to follow this up, they brought Ex Machina out, which again, same CG type one. I mean, all of them are all right. It just depends on your art style. Then we have Armageddon. So this is kind of a super power up man versus kind of the bad guys. Again, it's from the Japanese collection, but rented this from the library back when I was a teenager. So it shows you 25 years probably ago at least. Then we have Astro Boy. So this is not the American movie. This is the TV series. Have never got round to watching it. So that's why the label's on there. Then probably one of the best animes of the past 10 years, Attack on Titan. Great. Obviously, this is about people live behind a wall, and as you see, this is one of these special titans that come and attack and start killing everybody. The changes that go through this series are absolutely amazing where it starts off. So that is series 1. Then series 2 was quite short. So as you can see, it was only 11 episodes there. So that's why it has. Then we have season 3. Obviously shown a bit more. You have the Beast Titan there and a few other changes I don't want to give too much away. Then to follow that on, they did a live action movie from Japan of the first kind of arc, split into 2. So this is part 1. And then part 2, as you see, I kind of just picked up whatever's cheap, so that's why. Or like the first box set, that was a Christmas present, that's why it's Blu-ray. Right, then we move on to this series. So this is Basilisk. So this is basically Japanese samurai warriors, but the story of Romeo and Juliet. So you had the lead of one of the clan and the lead of the other. They want to get together, and you have their families against it, and then each volume you have a different member of each house fighting each other with special skills. If you like samurai warriors, if you like Ninja Gaiden and stuff like this is definitely up in your wheelhouse. So they all have different, it was really good because it was quite a diverse cast of characters, but they all had time to shine, and you all got to see like loads of different styles and weapons and something like this. And there you go, there's the lovebirds and obviously their grandparents and obviously the connection to that. Then probably a debatable one which should be there, but Batman Gotham Knights. So this is a load of shorts about Batman done by manga artists. I thought this was quite a nice idea. I say this is one of the ones I recommend if you want to get into anime. This kind of shows you the style and what they're into. But there we go. Then you have another series that I picked up cheap. Have not got around to watch it because I've not got the rest of it. So here's a volume 1. Obviously, as you can see, from like martial arts to like creatures to space ones to cybernetics, there is quite a diverse subjects for manga. This is Berserk, so this is raved as one of the best quite a good anime. This is one of the newer incarnation movies. I couldn't get on with it, in all fairness. Berserk is one I've tried a few times and a few little bits, and I've just hasn't really bonded with me. Then we have Black Blood Brothers. So I believe these are a set of vampires. So this is a series, only 12 episodes. So this is more the newer format. And then obviously you're fighting against evil warriors and stuff like this. I quite enjoyed this. I think you could have picked this quite up. You could pick this cheap back in the day. Whether you can now or not is nothing. Then we go on to the series Black Cat. So this is one I took an interest in. I managed to find volume 1 very cheap, and I watched it and I quite enjoyed it. I picked up the others since, and unfortunately I've never found the time to. It's been so long, so I have to kind of revisit it. I think there was only 6 volumes, and as you'll see, this is like there's only like 4 episodes. So like this is a problem why they take up so much space as well. But there's 5, and then there is 6. So that is all they did of Black Cat as far as I'm aware. So this is where you get the big section. So in anime stances, there used to be what are called the big 3. So there are 3 series that you should always watch. Bleach. So this is the guy up here, Ichigo. He is a slayer of demons, so to speak. Then we had Naruto, which sits here. And then to follow up Naruto, there is One Piece, which I have the second volume there and the first one. Those are the big three, just if I reference it. So this is right, this is going to be a pain in the back. So let me just drop that out. So there he is. So there is the main protagonist, Ichigo. He is a human, but his spirit can kind of leave his body and he becomes a soul reaper, which basically means he gets rid of demons. This is, as you see, it's not really 20 episodes for something massive. But this is how they used to do it back in the day. Obviously, there is arcs. So this is Rukia. So this is kind of the Soul Reaper that he kind of gets linked to. I don't want to explain much. Basically, she is dying and he helps her out and takes on her powers, and he becomes a substitute Soul Reaper, and that's it. This is kind of a former Soul Reaper who helps them. Let's go here. Then obviously I found it cheaper, obviously, to buy the volumes. So season 4. This is a pain. Did not think this through. Apologies. This is one. Obviously, volume 2. So this is a Quincy. So this is kind of the human or opposites to Soul Reapers. They become a big factor in the latest arc. And then obviously this is one of the 13 Court Guard. I think he's one of the lieutenants. So in the Soul Society, where these demons are, or what these Slayers are, there are 13 Court Guards, so there are 13 captains of those. So here is one of the captains. I cannot remember. I want to say Renji Obara, but it's not. But he is a captain. He has a lieutenant that is a little girl who sits on his shoulder. And then there are other disciples below him, and they have different roles. So like some of are like attacking, some are medicine, some are research. So no, this is Renji Obara. He is my favourite one. He's not Kenpachi. That's who that is. That is Kenpachi Zaraki. He is revered as one of the most strongest captains. And obviously, they all have something called a Zanpakuto, which is what his sword is. So as you'll see on these, like everyone carries a sword, or a sword that can transform into something. And I've screwed this up because I've missed the series. So there was 1 to 4. 5 sits here, 6 needs to sit on top. So this is one of the bad guys. Basically, there are a few of them. I'm not going to go into them, but you'll see this side links them to the bad. As you can see, there is a lot. No, I won't go in because these pictures basically detail. So as you can see, I have series 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.1, 14, and then they started splitting it up near the end. So this is everything that has officially been released in the UK for Bleach, plus the 4 movies. Now, unfortunately, when they were producing these books, so this is where it comes from. I think I have some, so it's hard to see. Bleach is there, volumes 1 to 3. So when the person is writing them, when this TV series comes out, it kept catching up to it. So there's a lot of what is called filler. So you will have the main story, and then it will split, and then you have unfortunately, most of this has a lot of filler in it, and that's why a lot of people did not like it. Movies you can get quite cheap. They're not really related to the story. Anime are very good that the movies never impact anything that happens in the story, so you can kind of watch them. Right, and then we will get here. So then we have Blood, the Last Vampire. So it does what it says on the tin, a young schoolgirl who's the last vampire. Story, quite a good story if you like kind of Blood and Violence and that, and obviously from the creative Ghost in the Shell. And then they did a live action version. So I have this one here as well. I know it's live action, it's not manga, and it's just how my mind works and how it wants to put it all together. And then we have Bubblegum Crisis, some scantily clad women, basically about a set of cops. Only a very small series run there, as you can see, but it was part of the collection, it was cheap. And then obviously I have a different set of collection of a later series playing the same characters. And then we had Burn Up Express. This was one I found very, very cheap. Has a few episodes in it. I've never really got around to watching it, as I say, because I'm a big fan of anime and it retains its price. If you see something cheap, I normally pick it up. This is a follow-up to the previous DVD that I pulled out. Again, never seen it, so I can't tell. Then we have another series, again, say £2. You find it cheap, you pick it up if you like anime. Right, then we have Casshern. So this is an old cartoon, and they did make a live action movie. I have featured it on the channel before, but this is quite good to see where it originally come from. It's kind of a young lad in a super suit, and he basically fought in the bad guys. And then we have Children of the Sea. I think I got this last year, a very aquatic kind of fantasy. If you imagine like Little Mermaid and Ponyo and stuff like that, this is very much up your street. Chrono Crusade. So you have nurses who or not nurses, nuns who basically are fighting for the religion that they're under against like demons. Watched this back in the day, a long time ago. I cannot really remember. It was okay. Then we have another series that is really highly regarded, Cowboy Bebop. Now, I don't really like this series. I appreciate it, and that's why I have it. But basically, this was turned into a Netflix series. It only lasted one. But this is the whole series. It's basically about a kind of bounty hunter and his crew of misfits, and him basically trying to do right. They did do a movie, so of course got to have that in the collection. That was all right. Then we have Coyote Ragtime Show, again another cheap series that I found the first volume for. I think it's volume 1 yet, so picked it up. Have not watched it. Right, then we get into Die Guard. So this is a team of workers who kind of work at this site to control this big robot called Die Guard, and it is basically them defending the human race. So it came in 3 volumes. So he gets different power-ups as he goes along, and you kind of have the main team who pilot him and work on him featured in it. Quite a nice. If you like mecha, which is what this is referred to, then this is definitely one I would recommend giving a watch. I'm not going to try and pronounce this again. It's from the collection. It's cheap and cheerful. It's got a bit of mechas in it. I don't remember it that much, so unfortunately, again, cannot really comment. Dead Leaves. Now, this is a very weird one. So anime do have a chance. So this is kind of there's a lot of sexual content. I will put it in there, as you say, about these 2 people breaking out of prison, but they're kind of quite erotified, so as you know, quite horny, as probably the words was, and they kind of go on a rampage, and this guy has a drill and he ends up killing a lot of people with it, and he's got a head as a TV. Then the final ones, so this is a series that is on my list. I have seen it but don't own all of it. So this is Death Note. So it was a Netflix TV series and has a Japanese film. Basically, this is a Kurogami, if I pronounce it right, is a demon. He loves apples. So this is the main character, Light Yagami. He basically finds a book, and in this book, if you write somebody's name and a time, or if you write how they were going to die, basically the Kurogami will kill them for you and no one can see it. And basically he goes on a killing spree, killing bad people. There is, I think Rukia is the Kurogami, and basically it's a story of Light Yagami, who's the son of a police detective, and then L comes into it, who is basically catches on to him. And obviously it's all about this book and how he can use it. And then obviously from Blockbuster, so it shows how old this was, the old kind of live action, which was okay. And that is everything for episode 1 of this series. There we go. That is obviously the first part of the anime collection. So if you are interested into anime, these are what the 4 episodes are all about. So it covers everything I have behind me. Obviously with my with another series that I'm doing where I have a scratch card of 100 movie series to watch. Obviously this is where this will grow quite a bit, I imagine, in the next few years. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Like, comment and subscribe, do all the things you want to do, and I shall see you in the next one.